Welcome back to our channel, Rare Coins All World, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. Today, we have an absolute gem to discuss, one that could have you checking your old coin jar in a hurry. We're talking about the 1965 Washington quarter, specifically those with the D and S mint marks, and even the elusive 1965 no mint mark variation. This seemingly common coin could actually be worth much more than you'd expect, and by the end of this video, you'll see exactly why you should be paying attention to your change. Let's take a trip back to 1965. The United States was in a period of significant change, both politically and economically. The year marked a shift in the country's coinage system. Due to a nationwide coin shortage, the U.S. Mint decided to eliminate silver from the coinage of quarters, half dollars, and dimes. That's right, the 1965 quarter was the first to be minted without any silver content since 1796. Instead, it was made from a copper-nickel clad composition. While this move was necessary at the time, it's precisely this change that makes certain 1965 quarters so special today. On the obverse, you'll find the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Washington's profile is surrounded by the inscription "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year 1965. But the real mystery, and value, lies on the reverse side of this coin. The reverse features an eagle in flight, with the words United States of America and E pluribus unum, along with the denomination, quarter dollar. Now, you might be thinking, what makes a 1965 Washington quarter special? It's just like any other quarter, right? Well, it's true that many of these coins were produced in large quantities, but there's something that sets a few of them apart from the rest: minting errors, rare variants, and their overall condition. These factors can make a 1965 Washington quarter potentially worth a small fortune. Let's start with the mint marks. As with most coins, the mint mark plays a crucial role in determining a coin's rarity and value. The 1965 quarter can have a mint mark of D, meaning it was struck in Denver, or an S, indicating it was minted in San Francisco. While the majority of these coins carry the D mint mark, some special versions of the 1965 Washington quarter were struck without any mint mark at all. These no mint mark coins were produced in relatively small quantities and have become highly desirable to collectors over the years, but the real value comes into play when you start considering the potential for minting errors. Minting errors are often the result of a mistake during the coin's production process, and these rare pieces can be worth far more than their intended value. Some of the most valuable 1965 Washington quarters are those with significant errors, especially those with double dies, off-center strikes, or even clad layers that failed to bond correctly. These error coins are incredibly rare and can command astronomical prices at auction. Let's talk about one particular error that could drastically increase the value of a 1965 Washington quarter: the double die error. When the die that strikes the coin is misaligned, it can cause the design to appear twice, making certain letters or numbers double printed. For example, you might see the word "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" appear as if it's been struck more than once. If you spot a double die error on a 1965 quarter, you could be holding onto a very valuable piece. Another error to look for is the off-center strike. If the coin was not properly aligned during the minting process, part of the design may be missing or cut off. A 1965 Washington quarter with a noticeable off-center strike, especially if it's a significant misalignment, could be worth a substantial amount. And let's not forget about the 1965 quarters with incorrect clad layers or partial clad bonding. In some cases, the copper and nickel layers didn't bond correctly, leaving behind a flawed but incredibly rare coin that could catch the eye of collectors worldwide. These kinds of defects are relatively unusual, which makes them highly collectible. So, how do you spot a valuable 1965 Washington quarter? Start by carefully inspecting the coin's condition. A coin that is well preserved, with minimal wear and no significant damage, will always fetch a higher price than one that's been circulated heavily. If you find a 1965 quarter in uncirculated condition or with a minting error, you've likely found a coin worth more than just 25 cents. The next thing to look for is the mint mark. A D mint mark means the coin was minted in Denver, while the S mint mark was used for coins struck in San Francisco. And, as mentioned earlier, those no mint mark coins are a rare find, and they can be even more valuable. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the value of these coins. If you happen to have a well-preserved 1965 Washington quarter, you could be looking at a coin worth anywhere from a few dollars to hundreds of dollars. But if you're lucky enough to have one of those rare, no mint mark variants, or even better, a 1965 Washington quarter with a minting error like a double die or off-center strike, you could be sitting on a real treasure. In fact, if you have a 1965 Washington quarter with a significant error or a flawless specimen, it could be worth up to $95,000. That's right, $95,000 for a single coin. It's amazing to think that a coin worth just a quarter back in 1965 could now fetch such a high price. So, if you've got any 1965 quarters lying around, take a moment to examine them closely. You might just have a valuable coin on your hands. Today's video is a must-watch. We'll be uncovering the value of a seemingly common coin that could be worth a fortune, a 1974 Washington quarter. That's right, this little coin might not look like much at first glance, but if you're lucky enough to have one of the rarer versions or mint errors, you could be sitting on a small gold mine. Let's take a quick trip back to 1974. The United States was in the midst of a lot of change. Richard Nixon was president, and the country was recovering from the financial aftermath of the Vietnam War and the Watergate scandal. The economy was going through a rough patch, but life went on, and one of the ways it went on was with the production of millions of Washington quarters. These quarters were minted for everyday use, just like any other year, and they were part of the ongoing series that has become one of the most recognizable in American coinage. The 1974 Washington quarter features a timeless design by John Flanagan. On the obverse, you'll find a portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, surrounded by the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the year, 1974. On the reverse, you'll find an eagle in flight, with the inscription, United States of America, and the words, E pluribus unum, along with the $quarter denomination. While the basic design of the 1974 Washington quarter didn't change from previous years, there are certain characteristics about this coin that could make it a rare find for collectors today. The value of most common 1974 Washington quarters is minimal, just face value, 25 cents. But when you start considering the rarity of certain minting errors, well, that's when things get interesting. One of the main factors that can increase the value of a 1974 Washington quarter is the mint mark. There are several mint marks to be found on these coins, and they play a significant role in determining rarity and value. For example, the D mint mark indicates that the coin was minted in Denver, while the S mint mark means the coin was produced in San Francisco. The majority of the 1974 Washington quarters have the D mint mark, making them the most common. However, there's something special about a 1974 Washington quarter minted in San Francisco or one with no mint mark at all. But what really makes the 1974 Washington quarter stand out in the world of rare coins are the potential mint errors. Minting errors are often caused by mishaps during the production process, and they're highly prized by collectors because they're unique, one-of-a-kind pieces. Some of the most valuable 1974 Washington quarters feature mint errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, and misaligned dies. Let's talk about one particular error that could drastically increase the value of a 1974 Washington quarter, the double die error. A double die occurs when the coin die strikes the planchet twice in slightly different positions, creating a doubled image of the design. If you're lucky enough to find a 1974 Washington quarter with this error, you'll notice that the lettering or other details appear to be double-struck. A coin like this could be worth much more than its face value. Another mint error that can make a 1974 Washington quarter incredibly valuable is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be missing from the coin's edge. If you come across a 1974 Washington quarter with a significant off-center strike, you might be holding a very rare and valuable coin in your hand, and then there's the misaligned die error. This occurs when the dies used to stamp the coin aren't perfectly aligned, resulting in a design that's off-center or uneven. These types of errors, though less common, can increase the coin's value by a significant margin if they are especially noticeable. So, how do you spot a valuable 1974 Washington quarter? The first step is to check the condition of the coin. If it's been circulating for years and has significant wear and tear, it's not likely to be worth much more than face value. But if you have a 1974 Washington quarter that's in near-perfect condition, or if it shows no signs of wear, you've got a much better chance of finding a coin worth more than just 25 cents. Now, let's talk about the real prize, the value of these coins. While most 1974 Washington quarters are worth just a few dollars, especially if they're in good condition, the truly rare ones, especially those with minting errors or unique characteristics, can command a much higher price. For example, a 1974 Washington quarter with a significant minting error like a double die or off-center strike could easily be worth thousands of dollars, and in some cases, even more. The true jackpot is finding a 1974 Washington quarter that is error-free, in perfect condition, or even with a rare variant. If you're fortunate enough to have one of these coins, the value could reach up to $90,000. That's right, $90,000 for a single coin. Imagine finding one of these in your coin jar, or perhaps you've inherited a collection. Either way, that quarter might just be worth more than you ever thought possible. If you happen to have a 1974 Washington quarter, take the time to carefully inspect it. Look for any minting errors, and pay attention to the overall condition of the coin. If you find anything unusual or noteworthy, it might be time to have it appraised by a professional. Who knows, you could be holding a coin worth a small fortune. Today we're diving into the world of rare and valuable coins, and we've got a treat for you, an in-depth look at a fascinating piece of American history, the 1979 Washington quarter. You might think that a quarter from 1979 is just another common coin, but when you take a closer look, you'll realize that this coin has the potential to be worth much more than its face value. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this quarter could be worth a fortune. Let's take a moment to rewind to 1979. The U.S. economy was seeing significant changes, and the country was in the midst of the late 70s economic challenges. Inflation was on the rise, and the world was grappling with an energy crisis. Despite the struggles, the U.S. Mint was busy producing millions of coins for circulation, including the Washington quarter. The Washington quarter has been in production since 1932, and it's one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history, with George Washington's image gracing the obverse. The 1979 Washington quarter, just like its predecessors, features a portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Around Washington's profile, you'll see the inscription, Liberty, the year, 1979, and, In God We Trust. On the reverse, you'll find an eagle in flight with the inscription, United States of America, and, E Pluribus Unum, along with the $quarter denomination. These design elements are what make the Washington quarter so iconic, and the 1979 version is no different in terms of visual appeal, but here's where things start to get interesting. While most 1979 Washington quarters are still relatively common and don't have significant value, there are a few key factors that can turn this ordinary coin into a highly sought-after collectible. The value of a coin isn't just determined by its design, but also by its rarity, condition, and the presence of any minting errors. One of the most important things to consider when determining the value of a 1979 Washington quarter is the mint mark. Mint marks indicate where the coin was struck, and for the 1979 quarter, the most common mint marks are D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and no mint mark for Philadelphia. Coins struck at the Denver Mint are the most widely circulated, while coins from the San Francisco Mint are often used for proof sets, meaning they're less likely to show heavy wear. Coins from the Philadelphia Mint can sometimes have varying qualities based on the year and minting process, which can affect their value as well. However, the key to a really valuable 1979 Washington quarter lies in the rarer versions. For instance, certain minting errors or unique features can dramatically increase a coin's value. Mint errors happen when something goes wrong during the production process, and they can make a coin rare and highly collectible. For example, a double die error, where the coin's design appears to be doubled due to a misalignment of the dies, can significantly increase a coin's value. These types of errors are often sought after by collectors because they are unique, one-of-a-kind pieces. Another error to look for is the off-center strike, which occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process. This causes part of the coin's design to be missing or misaligned, making it a unique variation. Off-center strikes are highly valued because they are relatively rare and make the coin stand out from standard circulation pieces. Then there's the possibility of a misaligned die error. This occurs when the dies that are used to stamp the coin are not perfectly aligned, resulting in a coin with a design that is slightly off-center or tilted. These types of errors can add a significant amount of value to a coin, especially if they're more noticeable or dramatic. So, how do you spot a valuable 1979 Washington quarter? First, you want to examine the condition of the coin. Like with most collectible coins, the better the condition, the higher the value. If you find a 1979 Washington quarter that's in near-perfect or uncirculated condition, you've got a much better chance of finding a coin worth more than just its face value. Look for any signs of heavy wear, scratches, or discoloration, as these can decrease a coin's value. Now, let's get to the part you've been waiting for, the value of these quarters. Most 1979 Washington quarters in average condition are worth only a few dollars above face value. However, coins that are in excellent condition or feature mint errors can fetch a much higher price. A 1979 Washington quarter with a double die or off-center strike error, or one in pristine, uncirculated condition, could be worth thousands of dollars to the right buyer. And now, for the big reveal: if you have a rare 1979 Washington quarter with the right features, particularly with a minting error or in exceptional condition, it could be worth up to $80,000. That's right, $80,000 for a single 1979 Washington quarter. It's incredible to think that a coin that was once just part of everyday currency could have such a high value today, but that's the magic of rare coins. The market for rare coins is constantly evolving, and you just might be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. Today, in this video, we're focusing on a hidden gem in the world of numismatics, the 1981 Washington quarter. You might have passed by a handful of these quarters in your pocket change without even realizing that they could be worth a lot more than their face value. So, sit tight as we dive into the details of this fascinating coin, its design, its features, and most importantly, why it might be worth a small fortune today. The 1981 Washington quarter might seem like a typical coin, but its history and potential value are anything but ordinary. In 1981, the U.S. Mint produced millions of these quarters for circulation, and they've been in everyday use ever since. The coin features the iconic design of George Washington on the obverse, which was created by John Flanagan in 1932. Washington's portrait is surrounded by the words "Liberty" and the year 1981, with the motto, "In God We Trust," placed beneath his image. On the reverse, you'll find an eagle with its wings spread wide, along with the inscriptions, "United States of America," and "E Pluribus Unum." This classic design has made the Washington quarter one of the most recognizable coins in American currency. But what makes the 1981 version stand out, and why is it more valuable than you might think? The truth is that while most 1981 Washington quarters are still circulating in decent condition, the value of this coin can skyrocket under certain circumstances. Let's break it down. First, like with most collectible coins, the condition plays a huge role in determining the value. A typical 1981 quarter in average circulation condition is not worth much more than its face value of 25 cents. However, the value starts to increase significantly when the coin is in pristine or near-perfect condition. Coins that are graded as uncirculated or mint state are highly sought after by collectors because they've barely been touched by the elements of daily life. If you have a 1981 Washington quarter that is free from scratches, discoloration, and heavy wear, it could be worth a lot more than you think, but there's more to it than just the condition of the coin. Rare minting errors can make a seemingly common coin an absolute treasure. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the coin's production process, and they can significantly increase the coin's rarity and value. For the 1981 Washington quarter, one of the most valuable errors you could find is a double die error. A double die error happens when the coin's design is accidentally struck twice by the minting die, which results in a visible doubling of certain features, like the date or letters. These errors can make a coin stand out and catch the eye of collectors looking for something unique. The presence of a double die error can make the 1981 Washington quarter worth thousands of dollars. Another potential error to watch out for is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be cut off or misaligned. Off-center errors can be especially dramatic when the design is almost completely off the coin, and collectors pay a premium for such rare finds. You also want to pay attention to the mint mark. The 1981 Washington quarters were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, and the mint mark indicates where the coin was struck. The Philadelphia minted coins don't have a mint mark, while those from Denver and San Francisco feature a D or S respectively. While coins from all three mints were produced in large quantities, the rarity of the specific mint mark and the coin's condition can still impact its value. Collectors are particularly interested in finding coins with a low mintage or unique features. Although the 1981 quarter wasn't produced in small numbers, certain variations in design or errors during the minting process can make a specific coin more valuable. For example, quarters that were struck with a misaligned die or have unusually pronounced features due to minting inconsistencies are more desirable to collectors and could command a higher price. Let's talk about the value. Now, for the part you've been waiting for, the worth of a 1981 Washington quarter. As we mentioned earlier, most of these coins in average condition are worth just 25 cents, but if you have an uncirculated, mint-quality example, it could be worth far more. If you have a 1981 Washington quarter that features a minting error like a double die, off-center strike, or other rare features, its value could easily reach tens of thousands of dollars. So, how much can a rare 1981 Washington quarter actually be worth? A quarter from 1981 with exceptional features, particularly a rare mint error or one in pristine condition, could fetch up to $85,000. It's hard to believe that something as simple as a quarter, which many of us encounter on a daily basis, could hold such incredible value. But that's the beauty of coin collecting. The value of a coin is determined by many factors, including its rarity, condition, and unique features. Before we wrap up, here's a tip for you. If you happen to come across a 1981 Washington quarter in your change or while searching through your coin jar, be sure to examine it carefully. Look for any signs of minting errors, and check its condition. You might be holding on to a small treasure that could make you thousands of dollars richer. Today, we have a special treat for you, the 1990 Washington quarter. While this coin might seem like an everyday item in your pocket change, don't let its simple appearance fool you. There's a lot more to this coin than meets the eye, and it might be worth far more than you think. Stick around to the end, where we'll reveal just how much this 1990 Washington quarter could be worth. Let's start with a little history. The 1990 Washington quarter is part of a long tradition of coins honoring the first President of the United States, George Washington. The design, which was first introduced in 1932 by John Flanagan, has been used on the quarter for decades. This iconic portrait of George Washington has become one of the most recognizable images in U.S. coinage. But the story of this particular coin, the 1990 Washington quarter, isn't just about history, it's about rarity, unique features, and the potential for big profits. In terms of design, the 1990 Washington quarter remains true to the classic features we've come to know and love. The obverse shows a profile of George Washington, facing left, with the word Liberty boldly etched above him. Below his image is the year 1990 and the motto, In God We Trust, near his neck. On the reverse side, you'll see the majestic American bald eagle, perched with its wings spread wide, symbolizing strength and freedom. Surrounding the eagle are the words, United States of America, and E pluribus unum. So, what makes the 1990 Washington quarter stand out, and why could it be worth much more than you'd expect? To answer that, we need to look beyond the design and take a deeper dive into the coin's rarity and condition. The U.S. Mint produced millions of Washington quarters in 1990, and as a result, most of these coins are still found in circulation today. But that doesn't mean all 1990 quarters are created equal. The true value of any coin comes down to its condition, and when it comes to the 1990 Washington quarter, the condition is key. The vast majority of these quarters were used in everyday transactions, so they've been subject to wear and tear. However, a coin in mint condition, one that hasn't been circulated or damaged, is much rarer than you might think. If you're lucky enough to find a 1990 Washington quarter in excellent condition, preferably uncirculated with no wear or discoloration, then you're already looking at a coin that could be worth far more than just 25 cents. But we're not stopping there. The real treasure lies in the errors and unique features that can make a seemingly ordinary quarter worth a small fortune. One of the most valuable types of errors you can find on a 1990 Washington quarter is a double die error. This occurs when the coin's design is struck twice by the minting die, causing the image to appear doubled. This can happen with any part of the design, whether it's the date, the letters, or even the intricate details of Washington's profile. If you happen to find a 1990 quarter with a noticeable double die error, you've stumbled upon a highly desirable coin that could fetch a much higher price than a standard quarter. Another potential error to look out for is a clash die error. This happens when the coin's design is struck by two dies that don't properly align, causing overlapping features or distorted images. In some cases, these errors are very subtle, while in others, they are much more pronounced, making them highly valuable to collectors. A quarter with a clash die error could easily be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the severity of the error and the coin's condition. Aside from mint errors, another factor that influences the value of the 1990 Washington quarter is the mint mark. The U.S. Mint produces coins in several locations across the country, and each mint has its own mint mark to indicate where the coin was struck. For the 1990 Washington quarter, the mint mark will be either a D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or it may be a coin minted in Philadelphia, which doesn't carry a mint mark at all. Quarters from certain mints are rarer than others, and if you happen to find a 1990 Washington quarter from one of these lesser minted locations, that could increase the coin's value even more. But let's not forget the value of a well-preserved, high-grade coin. Even without any errors, a 1990 Washington quarter that is in near-perfect or mint state can command a premium price. Coins that are graded as MS-65 or higher by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, are considered high-quality examples, and these are the ones that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. When it comes to the 1990 Washington quarter, its value could be significantly higher than the typical 25-cent price tag if it's in pristine condition. So, here's the big question: how much is the 1990 Washington quarter worth, and what could it fetch on the market? If you've got a rare, uncirculated 1990 Washington quarter, or even better, one with a minting error, you could be sitting on a coin worth up to $75,000. Yes, you heard that right, $75,000. That's the kind of money you could make by finding a 1990 Washington quarter in exceptional condition or with a unique error. It's amazing to think that a coin with a face value of just 25 cents could potentially bring in so much. But that's the magic of coin collecting. It's all about spotting those rare, valuable pieces in a sea of everyday change. So, next time you go through your change, keep your eyes peeled for a 1990 Washington quarter. It might be a little more ordinary than other collectible coins, but with a little luck and a keen eye, you could find one that's worth a small fortune. Let us know in the comments below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're now inspired to start searching through your coin jar. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more coin collecting tips, and turn on notifications so you never miss another exciting discovery. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting.